Well, Maria, thank you for passing on that hit piece on the front page of the New York Times. You know, the nice thing about the mainstream media, they don't hide their views. Well, Neil, I'm glad we are focusing on the important topics of the evening. Since September, the Constitution hasn't changed. But the poll numbers have. Interestingly enough, Donald J. Trump would be disqualified. Because Donald's mother was born in Scotland. She was naturalized. Now, Donald...
I hate to interrupt this episode of Court TV, but the real...
We did start a great deal of that debate about the citizenship of Senator Ted Cruz. Marco Rubio, you join us now. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We all do. Senator, right away, you said you had no problem with Senator Ted Cruz's eligibility to run for president. You disappointed we spent so much time on it?
Well, we knew it would come up, right? I mean, it's been a topic all week, and they were going to mention it. And so, you know, it came out, and it was what it was. I thought it went too long. In the end, you either care about it or you don't. I don't. I think the bigger issue is the challenges before America and the damage Barack Obama's done to this country and the damage Hillary Clinton will continue to do. I mean, we have a president that is systematically trying to change this country into something more like what you see in the rest of the world, like the countries in Europe, for example. And my point is, if you want America to be more like those other countries, why don't you just move to those other countries? We want to be America, a place of individual liberty, respect for the Constitution, free enterprise, limited government, and a strong national defense. And I think that's what this election needs to be about, is becoming that again.
Sure. Senator, a lot of the first almost 2 hours, there was a lot of back and forth betwixt Mr. Trump and Ted Cruz. But in the last 15 minutes, you got in there, and Jerry Seib in the pages of the Wall Street Journal today writes that you were dazzling in the last 15 minutes, where you threw everything you could at Ted Cruz. If people didn't see it, I know it was at the end of the debate, we're going to play a bit of it right here. Watch this.
Ted Cruz, you used to say you supported doubling the number of green cards. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support a 500% increase in the number of guest workers. Now you say that you're against it. You used to support legalizing people that were here illegally. Now you say you're against it. You used to say that you were in favor of birthright citizenship. Now you say that you are against it. And by the way, it's not just on immigration. You used to support TPA. Now you say you're against it. I saw you on the Senate floor flip your vote on crop insurance because they told you it would help you in Iowa. And last week we all saw you flip your vote on ethanol in Iowa for the same reason.
I appreciate your dumping your Oppo research folder on the debate.
No, it's your record.
Did that work? Did that stick?
Well, first, let's remember how that happened, right? I was asked a question, I answered it, and then he basically got in and attacked me. And here's the point, and I like Ted, we're friends, but he campaigns as a consistent conservative and basically says he's the only consistent conservative on the stage. That is not his record. He has flipped his position on birthright citizenship, on legalization of illegal immigrants. He wanted a 500% increase in guest workers. He wanted a doubling of the number of green cards. He did change his position on TPA. He wrote an article with Paul Ryan, before Paul Ryan was Speaker, praising TPA. He used to lobby members to support TPA. And then 4 months later, all of a sudden, he flips on it. And we saw him flip his vote on crop insurance on the Senate floor. I mean, I was standing right there. And then last week, ethanol, again, in Iowa. So my point is, the only thing consistent is the consistent political calculation that I'm going to change my position if it helps me politically in a given moment. And so don't run as a consistent conservative if, in fact, you have consistently calculated your positions. And that's what he's done. And, again, it came up because he launched into an attack. And so I responded with his record, not with an Oppo dump, with his record.
And Senator Rubio, another moment of the night where pundits say you shined is when you took on Hillary Clinton and her lackadaisical handling of national security information on her private email server, and also firing up your base on gun rights. Let's take a listen.
Hillary Clinton is disqualified from being Commander-in-Chief of the United States. And someone who lies to the families of those 4 victims in Benghazi can never be President of the United States. On the issue of Barack Obama, Barack Obama does not believe that America is a great global power. And that's how you get a foreign policy where we cut deals with our enemies like Iran. And we gut our military. And we go around the world like he has done on 10 separate occasions and apologized for America. There is a war against ISIS, not just against ISIS, but against radical jihadist terrorists. And it is a war that either they win or we win. The Second Amendment is not an option. It is not a suggestion. It is a constitutional right. I am convinced that this president, if he could get rid of the Second Amendment, he would. Because criminals don't buy their guns from a gun show. They steal them. They get them on the black market. And let me tell you, ISIS and terrorists do not get their guns from a gun show.
Our producer showing us several headlines this morning. It's a three-man race. Cruz, Trump, and Rubio. What do you make of that?
Well, I would, again, I mean, the political punditry I'll leave to others. Here's what I know, and that is we're working really hard. As I said, we left last night right after the debate. We're here in New Hampshire ready to work this morning. We'll be in Iowa all day tomorrow. And we feel great about the fact that now that voters are beginning, I mean, tonight, I thought last night was the beginning of the fourth quarter here in terms of Iowa. People are now really starting to focus in. Voters in these early states make up their minds very late. They want to know as much as possible about the candidates, and we just feel good about what that means for us. So we sense it on the ground. We feel really good about our message. And ultimately, this election needs to be about who is best able to keep America safe and undo the damage that Barack Obama has done to the United States of America.
All right. Closing arguments, 17 days to Iowa. Marco Rubio, thank you very much for joining us live this morning from South Carolina.
Thank you.
You bet.